guys, welcome back to what is going to be the last in the current series of top 10 for each class. Like I said, this is the last one, the Mystic. I've done all the rest. If you've missed out on any of those, be sure and go back and check those out. If you have missed, there should be, I'll put a link in the last of this video if you want to go back and check those out. Be sure and put in the comments below if you do agree with these. If you don't agree, please put it in the comments below. Just do it constructively. I'm overwhelmed by the positive comments that have come through, as well as if people have had disagreements, they put it through for the most part constructively, which has been fantastic. So it's great to see those. So keep those coming through. And if you do like today's video, hit the like button, subscribe. It does help a lot for trying to grow this channel up. So I really appreciate it, guys. So without waffling on any longer, let's get cracking. So number 10, I've gone with the Hood. So the Hood has always been kind of, a decent champion, especially with his synergies with Ghost, things like that. People do use him, a fair bit, but I've never been a massive fan of the Hood. But after his rework, he does seem to be a fair bit better. I know a lot of people that do use him a lot more. I mean, personally, I still don't use him a lot. I still probably would prefer others maybe in this 10th spot, but I do know a lot of people do rank him quite highly, so he's kind of snuck in by the skin of his teeth at number 10 for my list anyways. Number 9 is someone I really like to use. I do realize that on some people's probably top 10 list, he has maybe even dropped completely off of this. I like Longshot. He doesn't need to be awakened, and he doesn't have a massive amount of utility, but when it comes to usually the Mystic pads on Cavalier, I use them all the time. I think he's really valuable, at least in that. I do use him occasionally in brand new content, like in Act 7, because if you need someone, just throw it down, then he's your man. If you can, incinerate them and that sort of thing, he just wipes people out just so easily and quickly in a lot of fights. So if you can use him, then he's fantastic. He's like him. He's like another one or two coming up on my list that if he's usable, then he's fantastic. If he's not usable, then he's just shit and a waste of your time. So anyway, Longshot number 9. Number 8, the guy that's very similar in that sense, Symbiote Supreme. He's had some fights that he's been extremely useful for. Even, I think, as of late, I think he's kind of come back into the frame a little bit, where he's been a lot more useful in a lot of recent fights. So people are kind of knocking the dust off Sim Supreme, bringing him back and saying, hold on, he's a really valuable champ in the right situations. So everybody knows, just get that special 3 up if they've got a lot of buffs, and just throw them into the void or whatever it is, and hear that cow going, and at least what sounds like a freaking cow moving, and Bob's your uncle. Away you go. He just absolutely smacks down the same as Longshot does. I really like Sim Supreme. So moving on, number 7, Dragon Man. One of the newer champs in the game. I love Dragon Man because he's so unique in the Mystic class that he's a robot. There aren't many robots in the Mystic class, and so it just makes him so valuable, has a lot of utility just by being bleed and poison immune. So I really like Dragon Man. I think he's really helpful. I'm not going to go into too much detail on these guys. I just want to make these as quick as possible. I think some of the other ones I've maybe drugged them on a little bit too long. So if you did have any questions about any of the individual champs, then just put it in the comments below, and I'll get back to every single one of you. Number 6, Tigra. Now, Tigra could probably be, I don't know, top 2 or 3 on this list if she wasn't so difficult to use, at least to get the most out of. I think she's probably, at the minute, most people would say is at least, if not the top, one of the top most difficult champions to use in the game if you're going to try to get the most out of Tigra. I think she can be extremely valuable, but people like myself that can't be bothered to try to learn all the different intricacies of a champion like Tigra, she's worthless to me. But I do realize that there are a lot of people out there that will take the time and the effort and the practice to learn a champion like this and can get the most out of them. So that's why she comes in at number 6. Number 5, a champion that seems to be one of the oldest champions. Again, she reminds me a bit of, I wouldn't say Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch has kind of lost her value. Just some of the older champions in the game that, you know, that just really just keeps on ticking. That's kind of just been able to change with the times. Her utility has been so valuable that she hasn't really lost that much value in the game, even though there have been champions that have come in and been able to do this, 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 and this, and this. You know, her power control abilities are always so helpful and so good that she's been able to stick with the best of them, really. So that's why I've got her in at number 5, is strictly for those abilities. Number 4 is Sorcerer Supreme. Now, Sorcerer Supreme has a ton of utility. Very, very helpful champion. You know, I've not used her a great deal. The reason why I haven't used her a great deal is I used to always run suicides. I've only just recently taken suicides off in the last month or so. So I've not used her a ton. I just know from what I've seen on, you know, watching different other YouTubers and different gameplay and things like that, she does seem extremely valuable, especially with her utilities. So if you haven't, I'd definitely have a look at her if you haven't taken her up so far. Now this guy here, Diablo, was always an absolute joker when he first came out. An absolute waste of space. I remember when he came out, I thought, look at this guy. He looks like some sort of Ming the Merciless strung out or something, you know. But, you know, he was just, always hit like a bit of a noodle. But now he's got to be the most sustainable champion in the game. Especially if you run suicides. And again, if you've got him awakened, even better. But if you can run suicides, you've got Mystic Dispersion running, or both, or whatever, then this guy is absolutely amazing. If you don't know what I mean, just take him into like the Winter Soldier Realm of Legends fight, let him get knocked down to about 50%, and then proceed to beat the hell out of Winter Soldier. And I would imagine by the time you finish the fight, you're going to be back to 100%. So he's just absolutely amazing in that sense. Plus, he's got loads of utility now. His poisons are really good. So if you're sleeping on Diablo, then get him ranked up because he is a really, really good champ now. Okay, the last two guys. I've got a bit different opinion with these. I love both these champions, but if you're running suicides, I would say, again, this is me personally, this is not the most popular opinion, I would say rank up Clairvoyant before Dr. Doom. Because especially if you're going to want to use someone like her for a full quest, because she is extremely sustainable, you know, and does a shed load of damage if you're using suicides. She's got tons of utility. She's one of my very, very favorite champions in the game, right there with like Warlock and Nick Fury. Those are probably my 3 favorite champs in the game. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Dr. Doom is freaking amazing. But if you're running suicides, it's a bit difficult to, you know, especially on harder content, we're going to have to throw a lot more specials, you know, to make him sustainable. I mean, you can carry on using them and just start throwing in health potions and things like that. But that recoil will bite you in the ass a bit when it comes to Dr. Doom. But overall, I've still got to give it to Dr. Doom as the best Mystic champion in the game, because I know that's what most folks will believe, and most people think that, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I would probably say if and if you're not running suicides, then Dr. Doom is definitely the way to go. I think he's definitely a lot more powerful than Clairvoyant without the suicides, and probably more utility as well. So, okay, guys, that wraps up my top 10 champs of each class. Hopefully you really enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed making them. I appreciate you guys watching them. Like I said before, you know, hit that like button, subscribe. It really helps me out. If you've missed any of the other ones, please go back and check those out. And make sure you keep an eye out for the overall top list of the champions that'll be out in the next day or two. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.